Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twin Flames Universe. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Cristina.
And we are true twin flames in harmonious union. And we're here today to talk to you about how to commit to love on your twin flame journey.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Good question. So what does it mean to commit to love on your twin flame journey? The journey is all about love, right? But I think, a huge part of the journey is getting clear on what it means to love, learning how to love. I think many of us, have patterns to work through with respect to love, where we might think that we're loving in a certain space, but actually, we're taking from ourselves, or we're engaging in a codependent pattern and things like that, right? So like a huge part of your work on the twin flame journey is really learning how to tap into your feelings and get clear about how things feel, how certain interactions feel, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really important to really be aware of how you're feeling on your twin flame journey, right? So that you can make the best choices that support your union and your foundation. So just a moment ago, you mentioned something called, like taking from yourself. What does that mean?
Right. So we can experience like this feeling where you're taking from yourself if you're not really choosing to put yourself first in your relationships. And society has kind of trained us to believe that that's actually selfish and that's a bad thing. But the truth is that you cannot love another if you're not loving yourself. You can't actually give to someone else if your cup isn't full.
Right.
You can only give of what's extra in your life. You can't give from your own reserves. You can't give from your own supply without taking from yourself. And when you take from yourself to give to another, you're actually not really giving. You're actually creating a debt.
Right, exactly. I think, one of our friends actually phrased it, which I loved the way she phrased it, is where you should always give from the overflow.
Yeah.
Right, and when you're really loving yourself and giving to yourself, it feels good, and that good feeling grows and grows and grows until you feel like you're overflowing with love, and then you have extra to give to someone else. But I think the debts and stuff that you're talking about come from things like compromising on what you really don't want to do or what you really don't want to give, but you give because you, in a certain way, right? Because you think you have to, or it's like an expectation of you. And when you give from these spaces, like you said, from an empty cup, when you're not overflowing, and you're not really feeling good about it, then it creates things like resentment, or it creates anger, or it and it can be very subtle in your consciousness. You may not even be aware that it's there, but these are the kinds of debts in your consciousness that not giving from a place of peace or overflow creates.
Right. And so what does that mean with respect to your twin flame union, right? Well, you can look at your twin flame union like a vessel, right? Like a cup. And when you're giving from these places that are not from your overflow, you're punching holes in your cup to give. Yeah. Right? And so you're leaking energy that's meant for your union. And so as you progress on your journey, first, you're going to just plug up the big leaks, right? It's going to start being obvious, where, you're giving energy that isn't serving you in that space. And you're going to plug up big leaks. But it's going to get more and more refined as you ascend and you get more and more, and you become more and more aware of your feelings and how your energy flows. And this is really important because if you're draining your own energy, you're going to feel that with your interaction with your twin flame. Because twin flame unions are not really the same as like a soulmate relationship. Many soulmate relationships are kind of like sustained through a foundation of codependency or transactional relationships. Like, you do this for me, I do this for you. That's how we maintain the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Your twin flame is you. And so that goes out the window in a twin flame relationship, right? Like, that actually doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are draining your energy in certain places, if you're leaking your energy in certain places, that's going to reflect like immediately in your twin flame union.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way, if you're experiencing, something where like your twin flame's not talking to you, or if you're experiencing like tension in your relationships with your in your relationship with your twin flame, it might be a good idea to look at like where you might be leaking your energy, right?
Right, and to get a little bit clear on like what leaking your energy is it's like making choices and using energy of yourself to do things that really don't support you or aren't really aligned to your highest self, like your best interest, right? Or the truth, really.
Yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned that I wanted to get a little bit clear on also is, like you said, like you have these energy leaks, you're making choices that don't serve you, right? But then like plugging up those leaks and what that means, and that really means loving yourself to a place where you begin making new choices that do support you,
right?
And as you grow in these choices and you begin to make new choices where your union comes first, right? Your twin flame union, you make choices where you're not giving from an empty cup, choices that refresh you and bring you life and refill you, then that's like plugging up those holes, and then you feel rejuvenated.
Exactly. And a lot of your focus, this topic has actually come up with quite a few of my clients this week, and like quite a few people that I've spoken to this week. So I know that this is something that's really moving through the collective, is like it's really important to nurture your foundation on your twin flame journey. And that's a huge way that you put yourself first on your twin flame journey, is you nurture the things that fill your cup. Right? You make sure those things are taken care of. And it's really important. You get more and more refined here as you go along the journey. But it's really important that you put those things first, the things that take care of your foundation, because without that, you can't really give.
Right, you're running on fumes.
Exactly.
Essentially, and it doesn't feel good.
Right.
So yeah, how do you nurture your foundation? You do the things that feel good. And I do want to get clear regarding like the thoughts that feel good or feelings that feel good. And I want to be clear that things that feel good in your inner guidance, in your heart space.
Right.
Things that feel good and things that, fill you up with life.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you want to follow, and do those things, and that nurtures your foundation.
Exactly. And so that's kind of what we're speaking to with keeping your energy really, filled up within your union.
Right.
Yeah.
And what this all boils down to, the reason why putting your union first, what that really just equals is commitment to yourself. It doesn't mean that you're like being selfish. It doesn't mean that you're not loving. It just means that you're loving and respecting yourself enough to bring yourself to a point to where you really can give, and give from a place of love and feel good about it. And when you do that, when you fully commit to yourself and you continue to love yourself and, make those choices that feel good, that greatly accelerates, your way into harmonious union.
Right. Because you are now fostering peace. You're now cultivating real love in your life, and you're putting all of that energy that you maybe once were leaking into like obligations or things that don't serve you and all that sort of stuff. Now you're bringing it into everything you do gives to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything
I love
you
that.
do gives to your union, and that like everything you do is actually feeding, filling your cup, right? And even like the things you're doing for other people, like there's a purpose to everything you do. And a huge piece of this is honoring everyone else's divinity.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not anybody's source. And so, like if you don't feel good doing a certain task, it might be because it's not yours to do. And so it's a space where you start to get more and more refined, and you honor everybody's divinity, and that there's a perfect solution for everything.
Yes.
Right? And so
solution.
yeah, and so as you really begin like really getting clear on how you are, how you're loving, how you are giving to yourself, that's going to be reflected in your union.
Good. So it's about commitment. It's about like committing to yourself fully, loving yourself fully, and really putting yourself first in terms of love. And then, of course, using the mirror exercise and stuff to heal along the way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And you'll find that as you put yourself first, as you allow yourself to be a priority in your union, in your life, you're going to find that reflected in your union. Now, all of a sudden, your twin flame feels like it's important to put the union first because you choose as one.
Right.
And so, if you've tried that out, like let us know in the comments how that works for you.
Yeah, how that works for you. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want future content and future videos, hit the like and subscribe button to subscribe to this channel for future content. And once again, I'm Daniel.
I'm Cristina.
And we are true twin flames in a harmonious union. Thank you very much for watching this video. We are coaches, and if you're interested in working with us, check out the links below. And have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.